All right, here we go. UFC 229. The wait is over. Everybody made weight. All the co-main, all fighters, the co-main and main made weight. Nothing too crazy at the weigh-ins. I mean, Dana kind of got in there before they could, on the stare down between Conor and Khabib, before they could really get in each other's face too much. A little overacting, I guess, or with Conor, kind of like he did with Nate Diaz, slapping the hand away and doing all that, and Khabib still remained with his composure, not really reacting, and kind of being like, all right, well, come on then, motherfucker, let's go, whatever. Kind of like the Nate Diaz approach. And I mean, I don't know. He looks way bigger than Conor. Conor did look a little smaller to me, and usually he has that size advantage because of his height and his range, his reach with his limbs. But I don't know, they look pretty even in this scenario. So I mean, it's gonna be it's an interesting matchup. I mean, obviously, the matchup everyone's saying either Khabib's gonna maul him, or Conor has to win early by knockout or whatever. He's got to catch him early and just not getting taken down and maul, or either that or he's gonna get mauled for 5 rounds or whatever, and that's it. So it's either one way or the other. That's the general consensus. But like, to me, this fight really reminds me a lot of the John Jones DC one, the first fight. As far as, like, to me, I always looked at Conor as, like, when he was in featherweight, as the John Jones of the featherweight. He had the long reach. He was bigger than everybody. You look at him against Chad Mendes. He was huge against Chad Mendes. He had the reach, and I mean, I just felt like he had that same type of striking style as well. Not so much with the combinations, but one strike, precise precision, stuff like that. So I mean, I kind of felt like he kind of had that John Jones quality at featherweight. Lightweight, it's a little more evened out. He's not a big guy anymore. He's basically, he looks the same size or a little smaller than Khabib, actually. So I mean, Khabib's a big lightweight though. I mean, he's huge. So I mean, he cuts a lot of weight down from 190 to 200 pounds. What I've heard. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely a interesting matchup as far as that. But I mean, as far as that first fight with DC and John Jones, I mean, Khabib, you could easily say he is the lightweight version of DC, or the only difference is, I would say, in that fight is that the similarities were definitely the pressure. Like, as far as DC was just in his face, running at him almost, just trying to punch the guy in the face. He was so emotionally involved in that fight where he's just like, game plan out the window, I got to punch this guy in the face. And he really didn't, implement or utilize his wrestling like he should have. Like, everyone says, oh, John Jones out wrestled him. Well, DC didn't really try to wrestle him. I mean, he basically, tried to stand up and punch him in the face. And he had a huge disadvantage in the fact that he had like a 11, 13-inch reach disadvantage, as well as just, he was easy to time for John Jones. John Jones is awesome. Like, John Jones is one of the probably the best in history, is using his range and his reach. I mean, he's just the best at it. So it's like, he was able to time him. He was able to catch him to the body a lot, which is why I think, like, obviously DC was a little different than Khabib. Like, Khabib's more wrestling a heavy attack. Like, he's just trying to constantly take you down, or he's mixing up his strikes just to get the clinch, push you up against a cage, get that body lock, drag you to the ground, get wrist control a lot. And that's what kind of reminds me of this fight a lot. The only difference is as far as the pressure and the relentless pace like DC and Khabib put on. But at the same time, Khabib, like I said, he's more wrestling heavy, so DC wasn't. That's the main difference there. But as far as the matchup, I think it's really important that Conor goes to the body the way John Jones did against DC that first fight. I mean, he was catching DC coming in, and he would just boom to the body, and you could tell it physically stopped DC in his tracks a couple times. But boom, like, look, probably shit his pants. I mean, just he got fucking hit. Body shots, kicks, and kind of like, Conor actually did implement a similar game plan. If you look back at the Chad Mendes fight, I mean, I just watched it recently, and he threw a lot of kicks to the body, a tremendous amount, and punches, uppercuts to the body. And I think that's what he needs to do here. It's not so much like, oh, he's got to just catch him with the left hand coming in like he did Aldo. I don't picture Khabib getting knocked out with one punch like Ronaldo. I mean, the guy has a chin. He's a big ass lightweight. You know, Conor really, other than Aldo, he doesn't really finish too many people with one punch. It's like more a barrage. He dropped Eddie Alvarez 3 or 4 times. I mean, it's not like a boom, one shot, one kill. I mean, he is a sniper that way, and once he hits them, they're in trouble. But I mean, you know, Khabib can also, if he does get hit, he can clinch and recover. So I mean, that's an advantage he has. I don't think one punch is just going to put his lights out. I mean, he has a chin. He's a big guy. He's in there with killers. He trains with fucking AKA with all these killers. I mean, I'm sure, you know, he gets tested all the time from that. He's been hit hard. I mean, it's not just, oh, he can't take a punch. I mean, so I mean, I think it's going to take a lot more than that from Conor. It's not just going to be like, oh, he hit him one time, it's done. I don't really think it's that simple. And Michael Johnson is a lot, you know, everyone goes back to the Khabib fight where he has holes in his game just because Michael Johnson caught him. I mean, he stopped him in his tracks for a split second, and then Khabib was like, all right, fuck, you did catch me. All right, well, I'm back to work now. And he got to work, and he still took him down and beat the shit out of him by the end of that round. So, I mean, it's like he didn't really do a whole lot of damage. Yeah, he caught him. I think he might be a little bit quicker when it comes, I mean, Conor's fast, but I think Michael Johnson might be a little quicker with his combos anyway. And it's, you know, so, I mean, I don't know. But when it comes to that, but I mean, I just don't picture that from Conor, one punch knockout. It's gonna be a grueling fight, I think, no matter how you slice it. I mean, I just don't picture Khabib going out that quick, unless he really did have a shitty weight cut and he just can't absorb the punch as well. Like maybe, you know, he had a bad weight cut. He did look drawn, he looked sucked up, but I mean, they both did, you know. Like I said, Conor looked a little smaller. I mean, Tony Ferguson looked fucking cut up. I mean, sucked up too a little bit, in my opinion. But you know, these guys are big guys, you know, going down. So I mean, I just don't picture Khabib going out like that fast. Like, to me, there's another factor. Like I said, the body shot's gonna be huge for Conor, I believe, to maybe help zap some of that gas tank from Khabib. Maybe open up his chin. Maybe, you know, maybe he won't have as much on his takedown attempts, his shots, you know, because of that. But I think, you know, there's plenty of ways for both guys to win. I think Conor, it also comes down to how much damage he can take. Like, how much can he take from Khabib? Like, and what's going to be his strategy once Khabib takes it to the ground? Like, because there's no way Khabib's not taking him down. I mean, I don't give a shit who Conor's trained with. You know, he's going to get taken down. Look at GSP. I mean, he's trained with world-class wrestlers. He didn't even wrestle, and he takes these fuckers down. So, I mean, for sure, he's going to get taken down. I mean, there's just nothing he can do. I mean, but I think what's important is what does he do after the takedown? Is he going to just lay there, or is he going to try to get back up? See, like there's different strategies. If he could lay there somehow and get a hold of him and hold until the ref breaks it up, then that's good for Conor, obviously. And also the same if he starts striking him, throwing some elbows, big from his ground and pound from the bottom, like he did Mendes. Like, he did some good work from the bottom as well. If he could do that and do some damage, maybe it'll stifle some of Khabib's attack. The thing about Khabib I like is he don't just stay and guard and beat you up like a wrestler does. A lot of wrestlers do. He actually likes to pass guard or even body triangle the legs, you know, and almost like a mount, but on the legs, and just use his hips to keep his opponent down while he just punches him. You know, while he just gets some leverage on him and punches him. The same thing. He gets a lot of wrist control, which is very important. Like, which also brings me back to the whole Jon Jones and DC fight. Like, another important aspect besides the body attack of Jon Jones to DC was Jon Jones' ability to stifle DC's wrestling with wrist control. Wrist control is important. I've learned a lot. It's just with my grappling experience, you know, it's just to hold people and just make them fight your wrists. You know, whatever you do, even if it's self-defense, they can't punch you if they're fighting your fucking wrist. And I noticed that DC, he's usually bullies guys to the cage and holds them there and just dirty boxes them, beats them up. Well, he wasn't able to do that with Jon Jones. Jon Jones was able to bear down on him with his leverage because he was a lot taller, but he also had really good wrist control if you watch. And DC wasn't able to get the underhooks and able to do that because he was constantly fighting Jon Jones' wrist control. That's another tactic that Khabib likes to use with everybody. When you notice, everyone has been, you know, dissecting that aspect is when he gets somebody, he likes to get that cross grip, or he likes to, you know, he likes to get wrist control while he beats up these guys. So they got one to fight off. They can't even block, or you know what I mean. They can't base. They can't do whatever because he's controlling that, and he's using his body and his weight and his hips to keep them down, and you know, and kind of just riding on them. They move, he's just with them, you know, and just boom, boom, flowing with them, and he's holding their wrists down, and they're fighting that. And you see what Michael Johnson, he was just able to keep wrist control, beat him up, and then Michael Johnson, you know, he's fighting wrist control instead of defending himself, or instead of moving, or instead of doing whatever. So I think in this fight, it's kind of where, like I said, John Jones did that with DC big time. If you go back and watch that fight, I think that this fight is going to be huge for Conor as well. Like if he does go to the ground, not to allow Khabib to get that wrist control on him. You know, if he does try to go for that wrist control right away, like to me, I tell students I help teach, you know, once in a while for jiu-jitsu, as soon as they go for that arm, when you're mounted, wherever you're at, as soon as they go for that arm, Americana or arm bars, whatever, that's when you bridge. That's when you want to attack. That's when you want just to throw them off. I'm not saying it's going to work and you're going to sweep them every single time, but you can be able to maybe get that arm back or go for a hip escape and a 2-on-1 situation with the knee, you know, just to get half guard back and work to guard, whatever. You know, it's just, it's making them work on top, not just letting them do whatever they want. You know, it's, they go for something, boom, you're fucking with their base now. You know, like you bridge, you fuck with their base. And I think you can't allow Khabib to just sit there and just get wrist control and just fuck you up. I mean, as soon as he goes for that wrist, that's when you got to start squirming and getting out of there. Conor's pretty good about getting back up and squirming. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying. What's going to be his tactic? Is he going to attack from the ground? Is he going to go for submissions? Is he going to go for fucking elbows from the bottom or whatever the fuck he's going to do, you know? Or is he going to lay there and try to hold on and get a stand-up, you know? Or is he going to try to get back up? And, you know, he's got to do a little bit of all of it, obviously. Like, honestly, like if it's when he feels that the weight or whatever shift, and all right, now I got to get up, boom, get up real quick. You know, that's, I mean, you got to kind of feel your opponent at that point, but you don't want to just like as soon as he takes you down, get up, like Chuck Liddell used to do. So you take him down, Randy, boom, dump him, boom, he's right back up. Okay, because, I mean, you could do that, but against a Khabib with insane amount of cardio who's used to just getting that body lock on people and just basically dragging them down. So you get back up. As soon as you stand back up, the guy is just going to be wearing on you and draped on you like a cheap suit, or, you know, like wet cement, whatever. He's going to be on you. So you're going to be carrying his weight to get up, and that's even more tiring, you know? So it's kind of like, is Conor going to tire himself out constantly getting up? I don't think so. I think he's a smart fighter. I think he'll learn from others' mistakes and who have. Look at Barbosa. I mean, similar type striker without the hands. You know, Conor has better hands than Barbosa. But I mean, Barbosa was able to, he kept trying to get up and wear himself out, basically, you know, by Khabib just taking him right back down. And I just think you have to learn from that. You can't just be like, all right, I'm going to do the exact same thing this guy and 26 other people did, try to get back up. I mean, you got to either attack or you got to, I mean, hold on or get up when it's time. But you have to attack. I mean, you can't just, I would say you got to be there comfortably and let him work. Make him work on the top. Like I said, like, even if you're not attacking and getting submissions and doing all this shit, making him work where he's not punching you, but he's trying to maintain position and he's wearing himself out also being on top of you. Like, one thing I learned with jits, like, I didn't have a wrestling background. You know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a while, but you know, every time I go at wrestlers, I used to try, because I'm a strong fucking dude, so I try to strengthen these guys. I wear myself out trying to wrestle these fuckers that have been wrestling their whole lives or whatever. They'll fuck me up. You know, I'll be tired as fuck. Once they pass guard, I'm like fucking dead. You know, but the thing I learned is don't try to out wrestle these fucking guys. I mean, why? That's like you're playing into their game. Be comfortable on your back. Like, be dangerous everywhere. Like, I learned to be dangerous everywhere. On my fucking back, whatever, wherever I'm at, I want to be dangerous. I want to be able to attack. So it's like, give him that position. He can still keep working. You're not working as much because you're not fighting it. You're basically just letting him, you know, whatever mistakes he makes, look for those. You know, because Khabib's still making mistakes. He's still making moves to pass and do all that, but he's so quick with it and he has so much pressure that, you know, he breaks people or he's a step ahead of them. It's easier when you're on top of somebody and they're squirming underneath you and basically just carrying your weight. It's kind of easy to stay a step ahead of them. So when they start scrambling around, all you got to do is just kind of flow with them, and they're carrying your weight, so you're still on top of them. and it's almost like they're going in slow motion, you know, like so it's like when you're on the bottom, it's the opposite. It's like fuck, you know, you don't know what they're doing on top because you might not even be able to see right, and you're just kind of squirming around. But once you kill those hips, I mean, what can they really do? They can't squirm so much. And Khabib's awesome at killing those hips and just being able to ride people and get the wrist control and just beat the shit out of people, basically. I mean, big brother to them, whatever you want to call it. I mean, so this fight is really tough to pick. I mean, because obviously you could go so many ways. Like I said, Conor could knock him out, starch him, whatever. He could do that. I don't think like a one punch situation. It'd have to be a TKO. Maybe tap him. I don't really see him tapping him. I can't see Khabib tapping Conor if he beats him up enough, and Conor can't take that kind of punishment. It kind of goes back to what I was saying, like how much damage can this fucking guy take? If he could take enough damage to stand up at the beginning of every round, all the way up to the fifth, which Khabib has not finished a lot of people as of late. You know, he's been going the distance. Then he has a chance, you know, to exploit a mistake that Khabib makes on the feet. But I mean, if he can't take the damage and he gasses, then he's fucking done. I mean, we see Conor, dude. When he gasses, he's flailing around. I mean, even in the Mayweather fight, I mean, he looks like everybody in the fucking arena knows he's tired when he's tired. You know, he can't play it off. He can't be like, he be doing little shit. No, but didn't get motherfucker, whatever. He's fucking tired. Everyone knows it. So that's one thing. If he gets gas, he's done. I mean, in this fight, I believe. I mean, I just hope for an epic fight. I mean, I want to see a good ass fight. I mean, it's tough to call. I mean, I'm just on the fence for this fucking fight. I mean, it's obviously the smart money, the safe bet, I would say, the safe pick is Khabib, because I mean, he could just maul him, dude, like he's done every fucking buddy. Conor don't have the wrestling credentials. I don't give a shit who he's worked with, Dylan Dennis, whatever. He could say, I mean, Dylan Dennis is dope, but he's not a beast, but he's not a better version of Khabib, like he said. I mean, he's fucking crazy if he thinks that. I mean, jiu-jitsu and wrestling, like I said, I do jiu-jitsu. That's lazy wrestling. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we don't have the same fucking takedowns. We don't have that same drive, like just same grind your ass fucking mentality. You know, we just don't. We're too easy to be like, all right, fuck it, I'll be on my back. You know, and I'll just attack from here. You know, so I mean, it's chess. It's not checkers, motherfucker. But I mean, this fight, I mean, damn, I go back and forth. I like Conor. I like both guys, but I'm a fan of Conor just because I like his fucking antics. But they are getting a little old and fucking tired a little bit. You know, this whole proper 12 shit. But I mean, I kind of like the guy and I want him to win. But at the same time, it's like my heart's with Conor, kind of. But at the same time, I think Khabib's probably gonna fucking take him down and beat the fuck out of him. I mean, I just feel like he's probably gonna do that. I mean, I don't see Conor stopping that, but you never know. I mean, he's had a lot of time to prepare for this. He's a smart fighter. He has the money and the means to bring in whoever the fuck he wants to train with. So there was talks about Jordan Burroughs being in there. I mean, I was like, holy shit, if you bring in that guy, I mean, it's totally different than Khabib because, you know, Jordan Burroughs is this explosive, fucking fast twitch type wrestler. But I mean, he's still basically the best in the world. You know, bring him in. But I guess they stifled that. I'm not sure if he did that or not. He said he brought in some 200-pounders plus to emulate Khabib's grappling style. And I mean, we'll see if it helped. I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it's the X factor there. You don't know what he's been doing this whole time he's been off. He's been working that hard, studying for one guy. I mean, and he's done well. So I mean. So it's kind of a tough pick on that regard, but at the same time, it's like, does it even matter? Because Khabib's Khabib, you know, motherfucker's just the ultimate grappler type guy, you know. And I think his hands are a little more underestimated, you know, than people are saying. Like, I think he has decent hands. Like, as far as like same shit, like he might get hit, but because he's coming in, jumping in your fucking face and just throwing his hands. I mean, little awkward style, open stance, whatever, you know, chin up and all that. But I mean, like Ali Quinta said, I mean, Ali Quinta knocks fools out. I mean, he has power. He hits everybody. Like he said, he had a tough time hitting Khabib because he's awkward and his timing's different and all that shit matters. I mean, any little difference, if you're not used to training that style against a guy who boxes in that style, you're used to the guy just come prodding forward like a fucking, Muay Thai or whatever, karate style, then I mean, it could be it could be weird for you too. Like, oh shit, it's a feint from a different angle. You're getting hit from a different angle. The whole ego punch and all that shit. I mean, I think he's a little underestimated on that, and I think he could catch Conor and tap him. But I mean, fuck, I'm on the fence with this fight. But I mean, I'm gonna fuck. I mean, I don't know the way Conor was acting, kind of little. I mean, it's hard to say out of character, but a little out of character. When it came to Khabib, a little too emotional in my opinion, and trying too hard to get a reaction out of him, bringing up fucking whatever the fuck you can. I mean, hey, you fucked that chick back in third. I mean, 10th grade. I mean, like Mary Rotten Crotch. I mean, what the fuck is this guy's bringing up? Like some old shit. I mean, his manager bringing up whoever the fuck he can to get a rise out of him. And it could be he might be mad, but I think it's more just kind of like this motherfucker, kind of like Nate Diaz. Like Nate Diaz had the perfect approach. Fuck you, fuck your team, we'll fuck all you guys up. You know what I mean? Let's meet up. Like fuck you. That's kind of like what could be. His personality is also, I think, that he's just kind of like, this guy can say whatever the fuck he wants, whatever. 6th October, the Southern Matters. We gonna fight. You gonna love me. You going to like me, buddy. So I don't know, fuck. I just want to fucking say Conor, because I just want to see that. I want to see those matchups. GSP, Conor, I mean, I don't know, dude. Fuck. I think GSP would kill Conor, but fuck, dude, I don't know. This is a tough fucking fight to call. I think, like I said, my mind is saying Khabib, because I think he could dominate this guy, like just beat him up, whatever. But Conor, just like I said, he does have that factor, and he is smart. He works his movement, his little touch butt in the park shit, whatever. So I mean, he's quick with it. I have to think he's studied a lot. I mean, obviously you can't just become a fucking better wrestler than Khabib, and I don't care how, in 2 years or whatever, a year, any of that, but you can. Everybody has tendencies, including Khabib, and if you could just, focus on those tendencies and stifle those while implementing your game plan, then that's something you can do. That was like Holly Holm and Ronda. I mean, Ronda had the same tendency, just wrap the head, toss a bitch, armbar, or whatever. Well, Holly was able to dissect that, her and her team, and they've pushed the hips away, and oh shit, well, now what do I do? This bitch is kind of strong. Holly Holm just attack and counter and stay on the outside and not right in front of her, and Ronda would just be like, boom, boom. So I mean, it was kind of, it's tendencies. It's the same thing. It's like in poker, tendencies. People have tendencies. You read them. It's the same thing in fighting, and I think that Khabib might have the same exact tendencies for that. And Conor's a little more unpredictable as far as striking wise, but so he had to have studied this guy. I'm gonna have to go with Conor on this one. I'm just going for it. Put on a limb. Put up her 12. I'm gonna try to find a bottle tomorrow. My girlfriend's going for Khabib. I don't even know if we're watching the fight together, but I'm going for Conor. But I would not be surprised if Khabib whips his ass, beats shit out of him for 5 rounds. I mean, because they're not video game characters, and you can't control them, and shit happens. Too many ways to win. All right, thanks. Make another video. Fuck, next week. We'll see. We got so many good fights coming up, but this shit's not gonna go away anytime soon. People are gonna be dissecting this fight no matter what happens. I just hope it happens. Everyone made weight. No tiramisu bullshit. It's almost fight time. Let's fucking go. I'm ready.